Hey guys, welcome back to another video where we'll be learning how to make Mad Libs in Python. So I have taken an example script from Google, and it says just so that it's easier to do this way. Wherever the blanks are, it's where the user has to give in something, and after the blanks, I've also given some guidelines as to what to give in the blanks. So let's start with the actual program. So you want to first start with the inputs, which is basically these blanks or whatever the user will give in these blanks. So let's just start with the first input, which I have conveniently named adjective 1. So I'll say adjective 1 is equal to input, and I'll say give an adjective. And then we will go on to the next input, which is type of bird. I'll name this type of bird, and I'll say type of bird is equal to input of give a type of a bird. Then the third input, which is a room in a house. Room in a house. It's going to be input of give a room in a house. And again, these prompts are just to help ensure that the user actually understands what to give in. Then verb in past tense. So verb, I'll just name this verb past tense. That should do. And finally, we have a verb. Okay, so with that, we actually finish all of our inputs, and we have asked the user for all of these blanks, and we go on to actually writing out all this output, or basically giving this MATLAB script out, right? So the way I'm going to do this is I'm going to split this whole script into whatever comes before a blank and whatever comes after a blank. So like for example, for adjective 1, I'll just take everything over here, and in a print statement I will just put it in a string. After that, I will use a plus sign, and I will just add the particular variable which has the input for this particular blank, in this case adjective 1. And we can just do this for all the remaining. So again, just copy paste everything from this blank to this blank, put it in a string over here, use a plus sign, and give in the variable type of bird. Again, use a plus sign, give everything from here to here, use a plus sign, and then give the variable room in a house. And finally, we have this final guy, which will be over here. Okay, so after we're done with the first sentence, I'm just going to split up both my sentences into different print statements, just so it comes one line after the other. So this one I'll start on a different print statement. So I'll put this over here. So I'm just gonna repeat the same thing. We have verb in past tense, plus then all of this over here, plus just the verb, plus and finally the final phrase, the dinner. Okay, so actually this actually ends up our program. It's a very simple and short program. We are taking the inputs and we've given the output. So let's actually run this program and see if it works. And one thing to note, obviously the fun of MATLAB comes from the fact that the user doesn't actually know what the inputs are going to be used for. So if you are showing this to one of your friends or something, just remember to hide the actual program, so he can't see any of this before he gives all the inputs. So let's just try the program. Give an adjective. I'm going to give a random adjective. Give a type of a bird. I hope that's a type of a bird. Give a room in a house, bedroom. Give a own past tense, let's say flew. And give a verb, let's say wave. I'm not sure exactly. So after this, you can see we're getting the outputs. It says it was a green, cold November day. I woke up to the parrot roasting in the bedroom downstairs. And then it goes on to say I flew down the stairs to see if I could help wave the dinner. Right, so that pretty much that works. There's obviously there's no error. It works everything fine. There are obviously a few modifications you can make. The first thing I think of is probably just add like a blank print statement after your inputs, just so that there is a space between the end of the inputs and the start of the output. So it obviously looks a little bit more neater when you have like a space between different sections in your program. The second thing is the user probably doesn't. Okay, the user can obviously see that green has come over here and parrot has come over here, but it's probably a little better to put like some actual quotes around this so the user knows which part is from the inputs and which part is just the script. One way you can do that is you can just add quotes over here. So just be careful that I'm using single quotes for my actual strings, so I'm allowed to use the double quotes inside. If you guys write Python using the double quotes for your strings, you want to use single quotes inside. Otherwise, Python will have an error if you use three double quotes in the same place. Python will obviously mess up. So I'm using single quotes for my actual string. So I'm going to use the double quotes for the quotation of my particular variables. So I'll just put double quotes everywhere around like this, and this gives the effect of it'll make a quote right around this particular variable. So a quote over here and then a quote over here, um, here and here. Okay, so now if I run the code, I'm just going to give some dummy variables because I'm not or don't write everything again. So now you can see two stuff. First thing, that there is a blank line between the inputs and outputs, so it looks a little bit more neater. And second thing, there are actually quotes around whatever the user is given, so it's clear which part is from the user. I don't know, it just looks a little better. So that ends the program over there. Obviously, try this program out for yourself. Do not choose these same lines because honestly, these are quite boring. You really can't make many fun sentences with this. Try to make something on your own and try to make something which is more interesting and which will have more laughs than I guess this guy. Right? So that's it for this video. If you guys have any doubts, you can ask me below in the comments, and I'll see you guys in the next one.